Coming up, learn what a potential ban of the social media app TikTok means for free speech.
Then see how AI is being used in the classroom.
Finally, take a look how UNO alumni are reinventing sports media in Nebraska.
All this and more from the Omaha News.
Good afternoon, I'm John Stanton.
And I'm Jenna Jansen.
TikTok, the wildly popular social media platform, is under fire as governments around the world contemplate banning it over national security concerns. Reporter Jenna Jansen digs into the concerns around government censorship over social media.
Representatives approved a bill on March 13th banning TikTok unless its parent company ByteDance sells it. This decision is due to worries ByteDance shares user data like browsing history and biometric information with the Chinese government. Omaha TikTok creator Liam Kaiser says politicians' methods on solving the issue could be done another way.
The wrong way to go about solving a problem. And it seems hypocritical as well when they only target one social media company for the reasons that they're targeting it. They're saying they're stealing information when you could put that on a lot of the big social media companies. So I think they go about it the wrong way and that there is a better solution.
Nebraska Congressman Mike Flood voted in favor of banning TikTok, citing concerns about Chinese government influence. In a press release, Congressman Flood stated, TikTok is the Chinese Communist Party's favorite social media app for Americans. It has been used as a tool of propaganda in our country, and this narrowly tailored bill will help put an end to that.
As the United States deals with the potential of a TikTok ban over national security risk, experts are wondering whether or not this will be the only foreign app on the chopping block in the near future.
University of Nebraska Omaha assistant professor and emerging media researcher Dr. Chad Owsley says the implications from the ban could be worse than the ban itself.
Then every other company that comes up in its wake will have the threat of that happening to them too. And then the government will have that control over the flow of information, which is what the First Amendment was in place to protect.
The bill, H.R. 7521, is currently pending on actions from the Senate.
According to the Pew Research Center, a third of U.S. adults say they use TikTok, with about half of adults admitting they have never posted a video of themselves on the app, but still use it.
Baltimore's Francis Scott Key Bridge collapsed after a container ship lost power and rammed into the bridge early Tuesday, sending vehicles plunging into the water. A recovery effort has resumed Wednesday morning, with divers searching for 6 construction workers who are still unaccounted for. At least 8 people went into the water after the bridge collapsed. 2 were rescued, but the other 6, part of a construction crew that had been filling potholes on the bridge, are missing and presumed dead. The cargo ship called Dolly lost power and issued a mayday call shortly before it rammed the bridge. The U.S. Coast Guard boarded the vessel Wednesday to collect evidence about the exact circumstances of the crash. The collapse is diverting shipping and trucking around one of the busiest ports on America's East Coast, creating delays and raising costs in the latest disruption to global supply chains.
In today's interconnected world, the internet has revolutionized the way we access information and engage with diverse viewpoints. With the rise of personalized algorithms, individuals are increasingly served content tailored to their interests and beliefs. Reporter Dayton and Sarah takes us to explore this topic.
Some believe the internet makes it more difficult for us to understand different viewpoints, such as religious background. UNO Religious Studies Professor and Department Chair John Lydon says modern media has changed the once-before shared narrative.
Tremendous divisions in America today, where people don't even believe each other and have their own versions of the facts, etc. It's largely the result of the internet and modern media.
According to data from Box Office Mojo, religiously themed movies have consistently performed well at the box office. With this in mind, Lydon says that major films often have underlying religious themes.
We're in a very interesting period today, I think, because in some ways we're diverse religiously, we understand religion better, and major films often don't want to focus too much on religion, or they focus on it very generically. And so in that way, people think that religion isn't in the movies, but it actually is.
According to a 2019 survey conducted by the Pew Research Center, about 66% of U.S. adults said they were either fans of or had watched Star Wars, a franchise that heavily incorporates elements of spirituality and mythology. This statistic suggests that religious themes resonate with a significant portion of the population, even within the realm of popular culture. While acknowledging the influence of media on culture, devout Christian Rachel Sheridan emphasizes that it's not an all-encompassing force shaping everyone's beliefs and behaviors.
So, if your culture is influenced by every culture is influenced by certain media, yeah, but do I think that America in general is just getting influenced by media? Like, is media this giant evil force? Yes. But is it an evil force that is influencing everybody? No, I don't believe so.
Overall, it's safe to say that the media influences our perspectives, but ultimately it's up to us to interpret and believe. While the internet and modern media may contribute to divisions and shaping cultural narratives, the presence of religious themes in popular culture suggests a continued resonance and exploration of spirituality among audiences. As society navigates these influences, individuals like Rachel Sheridan remind us of the complexity of cultural dynamics and the varied ways people engage with media.
Dayton, do you have any information on the overall impact social media has within the country?
Yeah, according to a 2021 survey by the Pew Research Center, about 64% of Americans say social media has a mostly negative effect on the way things are going in the country today, reflecting concerns about the impact of online platforms on societal dynamics and viewpoints.
Thanks, Dayton.
Coming up next on Omaha News, we'll explore how AI is being used in the classroom.
Then we'll show you UNO alumni are changing sports media in Nebraska.
Create, perform, communicate. College of Communication, Fine Arts, and Media.
Nearly 3,000 student athletes competing in 19 varsity sports from 9 institutions. Compete for nationally ranked teams to become academic All-Americans and NCAA champions. Nearly 100,000 students and more than 800,000 alumni celebrate their schools as they rise to reach the summit. The Summit League, where tomorrow's leaders reach the summit today.
The University of Nebraska at Omaha's bookstore is home to more than books. The UNO bookstore accommodates all students' needs with phone and laptop repairs at the iFix UNO station or free residence hall delivery. The bookstore, located in the Millvale Student Center, is full of Maverick merchandise. Find sweatshirts for chilly Nebraska days or cozy UNO mugs for every coffee fix. Shop anytime at unobookstore.com.
We all have a story to share. And we all deserve a place here at UNO where we can share that story and for it to be really heard. We want to welcome you to a new event called Our Stories for our UNO community. We'll celebrate together April 23rd. It'll be a wonderful time at Strauss Performing Arts, and we'll see you at the event, Our Stories. We believe that what makes us unique is going to truly bring us together.
As artificial intelligence technologies become more advanced, both students and educators decide their level of interaction. Reporter Sapphire Bennett talks to some UNO faculty members about their experience with AI.
This year, professors and faculty at UNO have started to incorporate AI technologies into their teaching instead of avoiding it like they have in the past. One of these technologies, ChatGPT, is well known for its speed and accuracy in following any given written prompt. Computer science professor at UNO, Dr. Victor Winter, is very excited for the future of ChatGPT.
I have learned the most that I have ever learned this last year with engaging with this stuff. Because I'm picking bigger projects, I'm coming up with better ideas, I'm getting stuck in places, it explains stuff to me, I learn things along the way. If I have learned that if I express my thoughts clearly, I get better results, I get rewarded immediately.
Although it is an unclear yet very relevant topic in the education system, the university has not yet taken an official stance regarding this issue.
Because I think sometimes when there is a policy, it can be really restricting then as to what we should or can do. And I think it also maybe places people in a position of continuing to more wait and see.
Write me a news script. With these new AI technologies, the biggest concerns that arise are cheating and plagiarism. AI can provide students shortcuts to problems they would have had to solve for otherwise. Aside from the concerns, faculty express there are many upsides to integrating this technology into their classroom. AI technologies, specifically ChatGPT, are being integrated into higher education everywhere, using it to lessen the workload of educators so they can focus on more quality student interaction. Faculty members across UNO are excited for the future of AI on campus. Back to you in the studio.
Jean Stothert announced Tuesday morning that she will be running for re-election as Omaha's mayor. Stothert said she will be prioritizing public safety if she is re-elected. She wants to do this by creating a real-time operations center for policing and emergency response, a public safety headquarters, another police precinct downtown, as well as a new fire station in northwest Omaha. If re-elected, this would be Stothert's fourth term as Omaha's mayor. The upcoming mayoral election will be held in 2025.
Since 2015, UNO has had its own LGBTQ+ archives on the first floor of the Chris Library. Reporter Jerome Bradford discusses why these archives are so important.
UNO Director of Archives says queer and LGBT spaces are vital to college campuses. Amy Schindler says it's here that they are allowed to explore their identity and find communities. According to the Post-Secondary National Institute, 8.6% of the population, 18 years or older, identifies as gay or lesbian, 4.9% as bisexual, and 0.8% as transgender.
Spaces, physical spaces, as well as organizational, right, associations, where people can say, hey, you know, you belong here. There's a place for you. Physically, emotionally, intellectually, academically, religiously, whatever it might be in our community. You know, this space is open to you as, you know, whether it's an LGBTQ or queer young person, whatever that identity might be.
Recent years have seen lawmakers and politicians discuss certain books, educational tools, and spaces that should be allowed on K through 12, even college campuses. Archives and Special Collections Associate Angela Kroger says life without those queer and LGBT spaces can lead young people down a dangerous and negative path to discovering their lifestyle and community.
Safe space where they can meet others like them and make friends, or do you want them to go out hunting in the parks or the bars or someplace dark and scary where they find maybe not such a safe space?
These spaces help those young people share their stories and discover their community without fear of judgment. For Omaha News, I'm Jerome Bradford.
The Nebraska legislature will be discussing issues presented in these archives for the remainder of the 2024 session.
After the break, UNO's Student Athlete of the Week.
Then we'll take a look at some influential women who helped make Omaha the city it is today. Don't go anywhere.
The media landscape is vastly different from the past. Conglomeration and consolidation have changed the skill sets required to succeed. Journalists must not only know how to conduct research, interview, and write stories, but they also have to know how to shoot and edit the stories they tell. Likewise, creative media professionals must know how to interview, research, and write the stories they shoot and edit. In the School of Communication, we require students to gain experience and proficiencies employers are seeking. The two hardest mediated genres to produce are live sports and newscasts. Thus, once our students are taught the basics, they are given opportunities to improve the abilities at these genres. Capstones 1 and 2 feature the culmination of skill sets. Once students produce the Omaha News, they can use it in their demo reel to show their skills. From here, students can go anywhere.
I never thought I'd be standing in the clouds looking down on the ancient ruins of the Incan Empire. I never thought I'd live among the street artists in Valparaiso. I never thought I'd make friends that would last a lifetime.
Adventure's out there, and as Mavericks, it's up to us to find it.
Stop thinking, start doing. Visit educationabroad.unomaha.edu.
This is Omaha Sports. We'll share the latest sports scores, triumphs, and stories you won't see anywhere else. Good afternoon, I'm JL Johnson. First up, a recap of this week's sports. This past weekend, Omaha welcomed fans from all around the world for college basketball's March Madness, hosted at the CHI Health Center. Nebraska still has one local team remaining that made it to the Sweet 16 in the Creighton Blue Jays. This past weekend, the Omaha hockey team played in its first ever NCHC Frozen Faceoff. On Friday night, the Mavs defeated North Dakota 6-3 in a thriller to advance to the NCHC championship. However, Saturday night did not go as smooth as the Mavs did lose 4-1 against the Denver Pioneers. In softball news, the Mavericks are on a fire as the team has won its last 14 straight games with a sweep over North Dakota State this past weekend. Omaha currently has the second longest win streak in the country and are tied for first in the Summit League standings. UNO's journalism department hopes to produce standout multimedia journalists. I caught up with two former student athletes to see where their careers took them after the UNO television studio.
Hurrdat Sports is a sports marketing company out of Omaha. In 2022, Bill Hipscher, the president of Hurrdat, called Anna Bellinghausen, a UNO alumni, to discuss the idea of the Hurrdat Sports branch.
Just like, hey, we have this idea of covering sports in Nebraska differently, and they wanted it to be in a digital space to kind of be the new wave of sports coverage because in Nebraska, they felt like it'd really been a lot of print and written articles, whereas the new age of social media and digital media is all about video and how can I tell a story in under a minute on social media. So
Avery Howard, another UNO alumni, came on the team later in 2022 after a classmate, Bellinghausen, recommended her for the job. The friendship goes back to one of their first classes at UNO.
Yeah, I met Avery Howard originally in our radio class, and I remember we went around the room and talked about our goals, and she just said sports, and I was like, whoa, like there's another woman that is involved in sports and wants to do this. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we need to be best friends. Like we need to talk to each other and figure that out.
Bellinghausen and Howard were involved in Mav Radio, and they co-founded the Women in Media Club at UNO with another classmate. Howard says she credits these clubs at UNO for getting her foot in the door.
I don't think I realized that this could really be a profession until I got to college and I met Anna, and she kind of had it a little bit more figured out, and I just didn't really understand how she started or like what kind of qualifications you had to have. And basically getting to know Anna and getting into some of my classes, you kind of learn that you just don't really, just have to kind of start doing.
The Women in Media Club created a space for these two classmates to put in the reps. Bellinghausen said UNO was a great place to grow.
Every experience, whether that be through Mav Radio or Women in Media, it's been so fun to see just the growth of myself and Avery too, and how we use what we learned in college into the real world. Obviously, there's nothing like being in it, but I think at UNO I got so many great opportunities.
Bellinghausen and Howard both started their professional sports reporting careers at Hurrdat. They both agreed that the growth of the company means the world to them.
We were at 4 and back in 2022, and now it's 2024 and we're up to 24 people. So it's been like a really cool growth process to watch, but it's happened pretty naturally. I think we just have seen how just the evolution of covering sports has changed pretty rapidly, and I think we kind of had to adapt to that, but it's been really cool to see our team grow pretty quickly.
Bellenhausen will be seen next covering the Creighton men's basketball team and their journey through March Madness, while Howard will follow along the UNO hockey team as they compete at the Sioux Falls in the NCAA tournament. This week's Athlete of the Week goes to sophomore Macarena Garcia, a Spanish native on the Omaha women's golf team. Reporter Lillian T. Meyer reports on Garcia coming to America from Spain and how her college experience has been so far being an international student athlete.
Macarena Garcia from Salamanca, Spain, is one out of 15 international student athletes in the Summit League for women's golf. She holds the record for the best 54 holds tournament in program history at UNO and is currently playing her second year as a Maverick. During her recruitment journey, Macarena says she was attracted to UNO because of their engineering program as well as the coaches giving her confidence.
The engineering program is really good known in Omaha. So that was my first attraction, but obviously the coaches gave me so much confidence by video calls, the emails that we had. So I felt like I was gonna be really good to take care of.
Macarena is a leader on and off the course. She has incredible work ethic that allows her to compete the best she can. International student athletes can be common at a Division I level for their skills in a specific sport. Head coach Victoria Grasso says for her recruiting, she looks for players from all over and girls who are not just good golfers, but good teammates as well.
Our big thing isn't necessarily where you're from, but it's what kind of fit would it be for us. So we look for talented golfers, but also girls that are going to be good teammates, good in the community. They work hard in the classroom. So we're not necessarily looking for where you are geographically, but how you're going to fit in with the culture that we're trying to build.
Macarena Garcia is one of 2 players on the UNO women's golf team who is international. She plans to continue the season and end it on a high note. For Omaha Sports, I'm Lillian T. Meyer.
That's it for sports this week.
There's a unique educational experience right here in Omaha. With access to top-rated programs, in-demand degrees, and a worldwide community of graduates, UNO prepares students for life, wherever it may lead. From Omaha to Italy to Uganda to Japan, Mavericks are working in communities around the globe. So where will a degree from UNO take you? UNO, access to exceptional, access to the world. Learn more at unomaha.edu.
Coming up in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Faded grass to a full.
This year marks the 36th Women's History Month. Reporter Peyton Hollubeck follows some of Omaha's most historical women.
Women's History Month means celebrating women's hard work and accomplishments on and off the history book page. the job most important yet often overlooked being a mom.
A woman that means a lot to me is probably my mother. She's been through a lot of hardships over the past year, and she's remained so strong throughout the whole situation, and she just has so much strength within her, and she's just a huge inspiration to me.
Bollinger's mother, Amy, battled cancer this past year. Bollinger says the diagnosis was a lot for the family as her mom is one of her best friends. It's her mom's strength and resilience throughout treatment that makes her mom her role model. The city of Omaha's history is full of strong women like Bollinger's mom, Amy. Historically known as a man's town, women of Omaha have fought hard against the status quo. Mildred D. Brown was one of these women who not only challenged traditional gender roles but also racial prejudice. Brown started Nebraska's first black female-owned newspaper, the Omaha Star, in 1938.
Mrs. Brown published this paper as the good news newspaper. So we don't talk about police chases and what caught fire and whose dog chased the cat, but we talk about the more positive things in the community.
Miss Brown's accomplishments in Omaha were heard far and wide as Lyndon B. Johnson declared her a Goodwill Ambassador to East Germany in 1965. Other notable women who left their mark on Omaha include Sarah Joslin. Married to George Joslin, Sarah used her and her husband's wealth to establish institutions like the Nebraska Humane Society, the Child Saving Institute, and the Visiting Nurses Association, and more.
She took Omaha, from this rough and tumble small town and made it a thriving cultural place that people would want to settle and stay and raise families, that offered a lot of amenities that made this a special place, worth investing in.
Sarah Joslin donated the Joslin Art Museum to the people of Omaha in honor of her late husband George in 1931. The museum will be reopening this year after they finish construction on their new addition on September 10th.
She has a really beautiful quote about whether you're in coattails or overalls, everyone deserves access to the arts. So it's just like a beautiful legacy.
No matter the role, these women had an impact on the community. This Women's History Month means celebrating these women that may be underappreciated for their contributions. For the Omaha News, I'm Peyton Hollebeck.
From all of us at the Omaha News, happy Women's History Month.
That's all for today. Join us again next week for more news and entertainment in the Heartland.
From all of us here at UNO, thank you for watching.
For me, it's about understanding the process of communication and what we learn through that process.
So something that you'll find within the School of Communication graduate program is that there is such a rich field of expertise.
I can think of no other discipline where we spend so much time focusing on not just one side of the conversation, but all sides of the conversation.
Not only do you get to work closely with other graduate students that come from all different walks of life, but you get to learn from graduate faculty that take those perspectives and help you grow yourself in a way that teaches you to be an academic, but also lets you be you in a really unique way.
I chose UNL very specifically, not just because I live here, I'm proud to represent here, but because I thought their program offered strengths that I didn't see in other programs.